Welcome back. So I can see right now, even though I'm not great at building UI, I can see that I'm missing some borders here because I want to kind of the addresses area to be kind of inlined inside a card or something like that. So using the bootstrap card setup right here, I'll add some kind of border around this guy looking something like this. And luckily, as you can see in this example right here, it's very simple to do. So let's try and add a block around a card around this block or component we're building right here. Now, one thing you have to notice is I'm not going to put that inside the component because maybe I want to use this differently on different pages. So I'm going to keep it as simple as possible for the actual address component. And then I'm going to wrap the card around the component. So I have to go inside my customer create component HTML right here, not inside the address list component actually HTML file. I'm going into customer create HTML file. And here, right after addresses here, I'm going to wrap this guy in a new div. And that new div is going to have a class of card right here. Right, so that's going to be my new class, and inside that div I'm going to make another class, because if you go and watch the example again that I just looked at, right here you can see that it actually expects you have a div of the class card, and inside that you're going to have a div of the class card body right here to get that border right there, and that's what we want. So we're going to have a second class here, and that's going to be called card body right here. And there we're going to add our component inside that. Now notice again, I'm not putting this information in the component because now it's easier for me to reuse that component without having to be forced into a card. Maybe I wanted to use it in another view. Like where I only want to show all the addresses, I might not want the card to surround it, right? I might not want that border. So that's why it's important for you to kind of figure out what you want to be put inside your actual card list component. So let's have a look at how this looks now. You see now it's more clear that we have an address view right here that has a list of addresses, and again with a designer you can make it a lot more pretty, but this is how far my skills actually reach right now. I also want in front of each of these guys to kind of add a small icon like this, an address icon, and so I'm going to grab this. I went into Font Awesome, we also played a lot with that. I'm just going to grab that and put it in front of the text. I'm jumping back to the address list component right here. So in front of the text I kind of just want to add this beautiful icon right here. Let's try and see how that looks. Now we have an icon looking something like this. And I also want these guys to switch to icons instead of these huge texts right here. Just an icon of a delete and an icon of edit. So jumping back to Font Awesome, and I'm going to find the delete icon, icons, delete, and that should give me, delete like this. That should give me like the trash can right here. You can see there are many to pick from. I'm just going to put that inside my button instead of the text, and I'm going to do the same for the edit actually. And again, this is really preference, right? How you want this to look, and you have to talk to your customer about that. Let's do the edit right here. That should be a pencil right here. That's the one I like. Again, there's a lot to pick from. Copying that into my code. Now notice all of this is just prettifying the code. It's nothing else. It's just taking the code you have. It's not functionality. It's just making it look better. I know there's a plus sign in here. It's just making it look better or different depending on how your customer wants your code to look. And there's of course also a lot of ideas on how you should make your code to make it easy to use for the users, right? So let's look at what we have now. There we go. Now we have something looking like this. I'm kind of satisfied with that for now. So another thing I just noticed is the button is kind of close right here. Let's just add if we look at the drawing again, that was kind of a line right here. I want that back, so let's try and add a horizontal line here. And again, this is, this is stuff you can work with forever, right? Because there's so much, the UI is so independent. It depends on who's watching, it depends on the company you're working for, it depends on so many things. But now we kind of have an address looking like this. We have some buttons, we have some plus signs, we have some stuff that we can work with. And that's it for now. Let's just keep it like this, and let's just keep working on this in the next lesson. Have fun.